Good morning. I call to order the November 10th, 2020 meeting of the Saline County Board of Commissioners. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Shadwick?
Here.
Commissioner Sparks?
Here.
Commissioner Vidrickson?
Here.
Commissioner Weiss?
Here.
Commissioner White?
Here.
I ask that you please stand and join me in a flag salute followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We now move to the citizens input portion of our meeting, where citizens may speak on county government, usually limited to 3 minutes, and pertaining to items that are not on today's agenda. Seeing no citizens from the regular population, I'll bring it back to the commission for regular business. The first item is the consent agenda, and it consists of approval of prior minutes from September 29th, approval of tax roll adjustments, approval of accounts payable and payroll as presented, approval of public forum agenda as presented, and I will say that I will not sign the minutes because I wasn't at the meeting. So other than that, are there any objections from commissioners who wish to add or delete anything to the consent agenda? That hearing none, no objection, the consent agenda will stand as approved then. Action items. Item number 1.
RFA 253-20 bid award for roof repairs. Lieutenant Sean Koskanowski with the Sheriff's Office.
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning. I am here today to present RFA 253-20. Its reference replacing the jail roof that was damaged by hail. We received 2 bids on October 13th, 2020. One from Meridian Roofing for $171,879.59, and one from Cape Roofing for $260,365.88. Alternatives for action would be that we can award to Meridian Roofing, we could award to Cape Roofing, or we could reject both bids and rebid. Staff is recommending that we award the bid to Meridian Roofing in the amount of $171,879.59. The repairs can begin in about 45 days and would be completed in 120 days. The budget impact would be that we've already received $124,209.14. Once the repairs are completed and the receipts are all turned in, the county can recover up to an additional $133,453.53, making the costs of the repair 100% covered by insurance. And the deductible for this has already been paid.
Okay, I guess my first question would be if $257,000 and the low bidder is $171,000, I'm assuming we wouldn't get $250,000. The insurance is not going to play that game, I don't think.
I wouldn't think so.
My other question is that's a significant amount of $90,000, a significant amount between the 2 bids. Do we have any Meridian Roofing Solutions, do they have recommendations, or do you know of anything that's out of line there?
No, I have no idea.
Has our council approved this? All right. Commissioners?
Nope.
To follow up on that $90,000 difference, this was apples to apples. There was spec sheets they had to meet standards, and a warranty. What warranty will come with that?
Was the warranty a little bit different between them?
So maybe to clarify a little bit between the differences between the 2 bids that we did get, the one from Cape Roofing they met all the specifications that was necessary, but also had some other repairs that were in there that they had thought that insurance would be able to cover that, but obviously their cost was higher than what Meridian's was. As far as the warranty is concerned, our bid specifications requested at least a 1-year warranty for those repairs, and both of those companies met that. I believe Cape actually exceeded that by quite a couple more years than what was requested.
Hannah, while you're there, obviously everyone knows that the jail issue has passed to build a new jail. And I'll just play the devil's advocate here, assuming that if we were to sell the property, and I don't even know how that would work, would the warranties be able to transfer to a new owner? Or
That is the question that I do not have the answer to. I don't want to make any type of assumptions whatsoever. I think that's probably the one thing that, to be clear on this is not a whole roof replacement. These are just cosmetic repairs to a lot of the metal parts that are on top of the roof. There are still some potential issues that we're going to have to look at in the future for some larger repairs to that roof, but this is just the stuff that's cosmetic that insurance will
And I
cover.
don't want everyone to get nervous that the jail's up for sale, because we're a long way from doing anything like that yet. So did you have something else, Phil?
Well, I was just going to point out that a new jail will not be constructed for about 2 years, so 1-year warranty on the roof.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Yes, sure.
On this 1-year warranty, that's on their workmanship, but does that cover like the materials that they're putting in there for a longer period, or 10 or 20 or 30 years?
No, so the warranty piece of it was just for the workmanship and then for the pieces that they're going to be replacing. There's some of those parts that will carry a heavier warranty, but nothing that's going to be beyond 20 years by any means. I think there's one part that said the spec sheet had 5 years.
And at this time that we're out here involved with this, did we look at, or has it been a long time since that roof has been replaced, all of it?
So actually, the sheriff's office roof is actually one of the capital improvement projects that is slated for some major repairs and replacement. This is just taking care of the cosmetic things that is going to be covered by insurance.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Well, one thing that I would add is that makes it real easy for me is that this is going to be 100% covered by insurance and recoverable by the county. So, anyone else? Are there any public comments? I'll bring it back to the commission for action.
Mr. Chairman, I move we award the Sheriff's Office roof repairs to the lowest bidder, Meridian Roofing Solutions, in the amount of $171,879.59.
I'll second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve RFA 253-20 bid award for roof repairs. Are there any additional comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion does carry. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
We'll move to item number 2.
Resolution 20-2311, declaration of a state of local public health emergency for Saline County with Michelle Barkley, Emergency Management Director.
Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning. I'm here to ask for another 60-day extension to our local public health disaster for COVID-19 in Saline County. Currently, the cases are still going up. I am still getting resource requests for test kits and personal protective equipment. And as of this morning, I've put 4 more people in the shelter for Best Western and Webster Conference Center, so there is still a viable need in Saline County.
All right. Are there questions or comments from commissioners? Unfortunately, this is a necessary thing to do, I think. So, do we need to, we probably need to vote on this one, don't we, Phil? Yeah. I would take a motion from a chairman, or from a commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, I move we adopt Resolution 20-2311 as presented by staff.
Second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve Resolution 20-2311, declaration of state of local public health emergency for Saline County. Are there any additional comments? All of those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move to item number 3.
RFA 254-20, clean diesel excavator with Darren Fischel, Road and Bridge Administrator.
Good morning, Darren.
Good morning, Commissioners. On October 25th of 2016, the United States District Court for the District of Northern California approved a settlement with Volkswagen addressing 2.0-liter diesel engines. This action was taken to partially settle allegations by EPA and California that Volkswagen used illegal defeat devices on model year 2019 to 2015 diesel engines to evade emission tests, resulting in an exceedance of tailpipe emissions for nitrous oxides. The settlement requires Volkswagen to establish an environmental mitigation trust for states, including tribes, District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico, to implement projects that reduce NOx emissions. In addition, a second partial consent decree was approved in December 2016 dealing with 3.0-liter diesel engines. The state of Kansas will receive nearly $15.6 million over the next 10 years for projects that reduce NOx emissions. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment will be the lead agency on behalf of the trust for the state of Kansas. Saline County has been following this action very closely for any funding opportunities that may become available. In August, we applied for the Non-Road Fleet Improvement Program. Our application was selected for award in 2020. Once all the project requirements are met by our agency, we would be eligible for reimbursement of up to 25% of eligible costs. We submitted for replacement a 2008 Doosan excavator. If approved, the machine would need to be disabled and reduced to a non-serviceable and irreparable condition. We received 2 quotes from Sourcewell Process that meets the KDHE guidelines and Saline County purchase policies. One from Murphy Tractor of Great Bend, Kansas for a 2021 John Deere 210 LC excavator in the amount of $2,187. The other was from Foley Equipment, Saline, Kansas for a 2020 Caterpillar 320 excavator for the amount of $211,129.91. The alternatives for action would be accept the low quote from Murphy Tractor for $205,187 with a $51,296.75 reimbursement. Accept the quote from Foley Tractor for $211,129.91 with a $52,782.48 reimbursement. 3, reject the quotes and reimbursement from KDHE for the non-road diesel program. Staff recommends accepting the low quote from Murphy Tractor in the amount of $205,187. We currently have one of these machines in our department that has given us little trouble. These machines were quoted without the extended warranty, and the extended warranty would be less expensive to add a 5-year extended warranty. The budget impact is the Road and Bridge Special Equipment Fund has a current unencumbered balance of $1,574,266.62. The complete purchase price would be taken from this account, leaving $1,369,079.62. The reimbursement of $51,296.75 would then go back into the Special Equipment Fund, leaving a balance of $1,420,367.37. This account has a prudent reserve of $1 million.
Questions or comments from commissioners?
Yeah, a couple questions. What's the lifespan? How long do you usually keep an excavator in your fleet?
Typically 15 years.
And do you know the market value of the Doosan?
The market value of the Doosan is, I don't know the current market value, no. The machine would be sold for scrap metal, and then that would go back into the price of the project.
On top of whatever reimbursement?
With whatever reimbursement. So let's say the excavator, we're going to pay $205,000. If we get, I'm just going to throw a $10,000 figure for scrap metal. If we get that, then they're going to reimburse 25% of $195,000. The price of our scrap will go back into the project.
Okay, so they take ownership of that Doosan, whatever monies it brings in.
They do not.
We don't recoup that. Well, I guess we do.
We keep that money. That money will go back into the account also.
The 25%.
Yes.
But we don't know if that excavator's worth $100,000 trade-in or $80,000 trade-in.
Right. I don't have that figure, no. I would say it wouldn't be that much. If I had to take a guess, I'd say maybe $50,000 or $60,000.
If I might interject there, I think what this whole thing says is you have to render that piece of equipment irreparable.
Yes,
You
yes.
can't trade it in, you can't sell it.
Right.
It's got to be
Yep.
done away with.
Yeah, the goal is to reduce emissions, so whatever they find, whether it be a school bus or anything like that, you have to disable.
That's if you join this suit. That's if you take advantage. You still have
Yes.
the
Oh, yeah,
opportunity to
yes,
trade
yes.
that in on the open market.
Yes, correct.
Good point. Mr. White, you had something?
So either scrap metal or yard art, what do you think?
Scrap metal, yeah. It's very hard to move an excavator after, one of the requirements is you have to put a 3-inch hole in the engine block.
Wow.
Commissioner Shadwick, do you have anything?
I do not.
Commissioner Sparks?
Yes. Is that, so it's up to our department then to tear this apart and disassemble it to get it to a scrap yard?
We're currently contacting some people in the scrap metal to see if we can't take it to them and then have them perform that. Because it'd be very hard to move and to cut and replace that. That's just more time and money we would spend.
Darren, I've got a couple of questions also. It says that the state of Kansas will receive this $15.6 million over 10 years. The $51,000 that's being projected that we'll get back, does that come to us over 10 years, or does that come to us one time?
No, that'd be a lump sum payment, yes, as soon as all the requirements for the disposal are met.
And also it says up to 25%. Is that up to 25% if it doesn't exceed a certain number? Or is that a guaranteed 25%? When it says up to, that tells me there's some room for negotiation in there. So that $51,000, is that the exact 25% of that purchase price there?
That is.
And can that change?
I don't believe that it will, but
So
I
in
have
other
the
words, the up
contract.
to 25%.
Right.
It should
It's
just
the
say
maximum. I believe the scrap price plus what they reimburse would meet that maximum.
All right, any other questions or comments from commissioners? Any public comment? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission for action.
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept the low quote from Murphy Tractor in the amount of $205,187 and for a 2008 excavator.
I've got a question there. Aren't we buying a 2021?
Yeah, that suggested motion was incorrect, that it's to replace a 2008 excavator.
I will amend my motion that says that I move that we replace the 2000 excavator and accept the low quote from Murphy Tractor.
Is there a second?
Second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve RFA 254-20, the clean diesel excavator, which includes doing away with the 2008 Doosan excavator. All of those in favor of the motion, please say aye. 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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Darren. That's the end of our action items for today. We have informational items. We'll begin with item number 1.
The road upgrade program with Justin Mader, County Engineer.
Good morning, Justin.
Good morning, Commissioners. So I'm here this morning to continue the discussion of the road upgrade program that we've talked about for the last couple months. I'm presenting a list of recommended projects with a year of construction and estimated construction cost. You should also have a project map showing each one of the projects from 2021 through 2026. So I'm here to present these projects, and I'm really looking for commissioner input on any kind of modifications to the list, if any, to answer any questions on the projects that we're proposing, and then possibly get a consensus on moving forward with the 2021 projects. See if I can get this to work. So you should have a list of projects on a spreadsheet that looks similar to this. It's up on the wall. It's kind of blurry. But just to explain my chart here, what I have is I've got alternating gray and white rows. And so like the top 4 gray projects, those are 2021, and then the next 3 white projects, those are 2022. And so it kind of just helps break out the different years so you can see them a little bit easier. Also, the first orange column here that just gives a brief description of what the projects are. And then the other orange columns are cost estimates that I have for each project, as well as the last one is kind of a 1 mil estimated balance, because we do have to cash flow these projects, through there, and that just kind of models what that cash flow is going to look like. So here you should have a map of the county with the projects shown on here with a purple rectangle around them. And these are only the projects for the next 5 years. So that's 2021 through 2026. But what I'm going to do is I did put together a short presentation for the projects in the next 2 years, 2021 through 2022, the ones that Road and Bridge are recommending. I do have some pictures. Hopefully they'll show up a little bit on the projector. So I'm going to start off with just the 2021 projects. The first one is Old Highway 81 from K143 to Ottawa Road. You're looking at a traffic count of about 2,600 vehicles per day, and so which is a pretty high traffic count for a county road. So in this project would be to widen the existing asphalt pavement about 2 feet on each side, and the issue we're having on this road is just the shoulder drop-offs, with the traffic that's on those roads, and mainly the agricultural equipment, the spray rigs, or they have to use that earth shoulder to fit on the road with all the other traffic. And so with those tires being on that shoulder, it just erodes that shoulder down. You got that drop-off right at the edge of pavement. So here I've got just 6 pictures of Old 81. This first one on the upper left that's just that I'm just north of K143 looking south. It's kind of hard to see, but this is where the KDOT right-of-way ends. And you can see here on both the left and the right, they have constructed, that additional 2 feet outside the white line. And that's kind of my goal, is what I see for this project, is having that a little bit of asphalt outside the lane line, to where when you have that equipment that needs that extra room, they're still driving on asphalt.
But you wouldn't be taking that on south, is that correct?
No.
Yeah.
We would be tying in right with that project right there.
Going back the direction that we don't see.
Correct. And so, that's what this picture here, the upper, the top middle, is I've just turned around and I'm taking a picture looking north. And so these are some of the other pictures just along that route. You could see here the maintenance guys did add some rock to that road very recently, because there was a pretty good drop-off that needed to be taken care of. But this is just a problem that happens quite frequent. And then the last two in the lower right-hand pictures right here is just at the Ottawa County line. So this one here is just looking south. Here's Ottawa Road. It's kind of hard to see. I apologize for that. But that's looking south, and this last one here is just looking north into Ottawa County. The next project I have is Old Highway 40 from I-135 right-of-way east to the K&O Railroad. This road has a traffic count of about 7,000 vehicles per day, and so there's a lot of traffic on that road. And this project would be the same one as Old 81. It would be to add an asphalt shoulder onto the road about 2 feet on each side, and again to minimize those shoulder drop-offs. Here's some pictures along that road, and the picture just doesn't quite do it justice for when you're really standing out there. Because this project here, you can see there's this picture here that shows there's a pretty good drop off, but it's just kind of hard to see in these pictures here. So, but we kind of have that same issue where we've got to go out there quite a bit and add aggregate to that shoulder. The next one is Thatcher Road, and this goes from Ohio Street to Crystal Springs. And this would improve an east-west connection between Ohio and Crystal Springs. You know, right now there's not really a good east-west road between, I think is it Shipton Road? And then north to the county line. And so this would just improve another east-west connection on that. Also with the hopes of taking some of the, well, let me back up. So this would be to upgrade an earth road to a gravel road. And with the hopes of taking some pressure off of Crystal Springs. You know, so those people who are traveling, you know, that are north of Thatcher and they're wanting to go to town, you know, instead of taking Crystal Springs all the way, they can shoot across about 1.5 miles to Ohio Street, which is a paved road.
Justin, how old is this traffic count?
Oh, boy. I couldn't tell you.
The reason I ask, I mean, I've been out there quite a bit lately, and I mean, there's a lot of traffic. I'm surprised that it's that low. The traffic count is that low. I thought it would be higher.
Well, you know, and that's a traffic count that we did in house. You know, and I'd have to go back and look at the data, but I used the newest data that was available.
Okay.
You know, if the paved roads and major collectors, the state of Kansas also does a traffic count periodically, and so we can kind of use that data to check our in-house data. Where this one here, it's, you know, it could have been just that one day we were taking traffic counts out there that didn't have much traffic. So this is, yes, sir.
Hey, Mr. Chair, I have a question. Hey, I was just wondering, is that traffic count, is that on a Crystal Springs or on Thatcher Road?
That's on Thatcher Road.
Okay. And that's what as an earthen road, that's
quite a bit on Earth Road.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, but it does get, I would say it can get quite a bit more than that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because again, there's not a good east-west road in that area. So here's some pictures. This first one here on the upper left is at Ohio Street looking east. You know, so there is a sign that says road closed when wet. It's a regulatory sign, but that doesn't mean that keeps people off of that road when it is wet. So, and then here's just a couple pictures at about halfway through the project, and then this one here is at Crystal Springs looking back to the west. The last project that I have for 2021 is Simpson Road from Waterwell Road to Minna Road. This has a traffic count of 176 vehicles per day, and this would be to improve a what we're calling a Class 2 gravel road. So that's just really gravel surfacing without a base, and upgrade that to where the county would go in and the maintenance operations would go in and regrade the ditches, upgrade and replace any culverts that need to be replaced, add an aggregate base and an aggregate surfacing, and so thus increasing the load capacity of that road. So here's just some pictures. Again, I apologize, it's kind of hard to see with the size of these here, but there's not much ditches through this project, you know, and so that's just improving the drainage is a big deal. You know, and so that's pretty continuous throughout this whole road here. So there's just not much for drainage ditches, and then it's you know, you can see it is a gravel surface road, but there's just not much base underneath of it. Okay, so the next couple slides is for the 2022 road improvement program. The first one on my list is Centennial Road from Waterwell Road north to the city limits. And what this project is, it is a possible economic development project for that would kind of tie into the Swans improvements they're having out there. And this would be to reconstruct that roadway, you know, from a paved rural section where you've got you know, your asphalt road surface, a shoulder, and a ditch, to an urban section with curb and gutter, storm sewer, you know, and sidewalk. So this would be a joint project with the city of Saline. And I've heard about this project just briefly from the county administrator. I did talk with Dan Stack, who is the city engineer, to kind of get his thoughts on the project. He's kind of in the same boat that I am, that it's just a possible project that might happen. But if it does happen, it's going to happen pretty quick. And so I wanted to put a project, this project in here as a placeholder. I wanted to throw some kind of a county cost, towards this, just so that it is in the plan. And then the hopefully, the closer we get to 2022, the project either might go away, or it might proceed. And if it does proceed, then we do have this in our program.
I guess I'm really shaking my head over a dual project with the city. Not that I wouldn't want to do something with them, but is that portion in the city or is it in the county?
Yes.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is the city limits goes down the center of the road. And actually this year...
One of those deals.
Yes. This year is what we did is we did an overlay on that road. And it needed to be done for quite a while. And this was before I even knew about this potential project. And it was a joint project with the city. So the city paid for half of the overlay and the county paid for half of it.
Well, the thing that I see that it can be a really potential problem there is their budget and our budget matching up. If they've got the money to do it one year and we don't, or vice versa, I mean, that, how do you do the project? That is pretty open-ended deal to me that I don't.
Right now, I mean, my main goal is I just want to have a placeholder, into our programs to where if it does happen, I do have some, some money planned for it, versus not having this and then all of a sudden this project, comes to fruition and now we got to come up with a whole bunch more money, and reschedule everything. It's easier to have it in your plan and then it doesn't happen and then you just bump projects up.
By the way, which half do we own?
We,
Probably
the
the east
city
half
limits
side.
are on the west side of the road,
Yeah.
and then the unincorporated is on the east side.
If I can, this, you projected this out to 2037, I see. And I'm sure that this is a dynamic document, that it's
Absolutely.
there's no way of going out that far and hitting every one of these on. Things are going to change. They might change in 2 years, so
Right.
it's just a tool.
I really put most of my effort and thought process to 2026. And so that's where I really tried to nail down, this is what I think we should do. And those beyond 2026 are really just other projects that are just kind of out there, that can, reprioritize, move up and down. And that's why on the map, I only went out to 5 years as well. So again, this project is just a placeholder. I just thought it would be better, it would be more conservative to have this in this program, and just in case it does happen. So, and here's just some 3 pictures of it. You can see here we've got some brand new asphalt because it's less than 1 year old. So here I'm just south of Waterwell Road looking north. Here's the north end where we're tying in to an urban section, the city's responsibility. And then here I just turned around and shot north. And so I'm assuming that this road will look very similar to this section through here where you've got 2 lanes of traffic, you've got a bike lane, curb and gutter, there's storm sewer, and sidewalk. So I would assume that it would be very similar to that. Okay, so moving on, then my next project is Simpson Road from Magnolia Road to Crawford Street. This section of road has a traffic count of just around 1,500 vehicles per day. This is a project that we have been approved for high-risk rural road funds through KDOT. And so this is a KDOT administered project. So all of the plan reviews, the letting of it, all that will go through KDOT. And this is to improve the safety of this road by adding 4-foot or shoulders, and then as well as regrading the ditches all the way through here. So this project currently is in the field check submittal into KDOT right now. So, and it's got a, oh boy, I'm trying to think of the month, but it's a 2022 letting. So if this does go, it'll probably be a late 2022 project.
That section of road is currently asphalt, is that correct?
Yes. So here's some pictures of it. This upper left is I'm on Crawford Street looking south. I took a picture of the shoulder drop-off sign because there's really not much for shoulders out there. And you can kind of see here you got your asphalt, and then it slopes down from there. With that high, 1,500 vehicles per day, it would be a big improvement to get some shoulders and some flatter slopes on there.
Excuse me, can I ask a question on that? I mean, are you going to have to purchase any right-of-ways or anything through this area?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I will. I mean, there's going to be moving right away. There's going to be some utility adjustments. There's going to be some power pole adjustments. This is using federal safety money. We have to follow all of their rules and regulations, and so you are approved a typical section, and whatever that typical section, whatever right of way you need, that's what you get.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. The next project is Simpson Road from Minter Road to K4 Highway. This also has a traffic count of about 176 vehicles per day. And what this is an extension of the 2021 project where the maintenance crews would come in and would increase the load capacity of that road, so as well as regrade the ditches and replace any pipe culverts that need to be replaced. And so the maintenance crews, they started off with Simpson Road, I believe it was 2018, where they reconstructed the road from Magnolia to Waterwell. And so 2021 would take care of the next two sections south, and then here in 22 with this project, it would connect the last 2 miles to K4.
Okay. Can I ask a question on this?
Sure.
Okay. Just on that perspective there, when we voted, that was a deal that this commission here voted on, is to that area of Simpson Road between Magnolia and Waterwell was to be upgraded that year. The county did the ditches and everything, but if I remember right, is that we voted to actually chip and seal it the following year.
Correct.
After the chip and sealing was done on Waterwell.
Correct.
And since that didn't do it, and we had to go in and asphalted that. But where are we at with going ahead, and because it's amazing here, and I had 2 phone calls last week, in regards to this asphalting or taking care of Simpson Road between Magnolia and Waterwell. I mean, I don't even see this on this project, and that was already approved that's what we would do.
Well, so if my memory, and again, my memory's not perfect.
We're getting off task here a little bit. We need to be discussing the projects that are right here. That's a separate project if it's not even on the list. I would like to keep us on task with these projects that are right here, and not to do away with your question, because that's a legitimate question, but it doesn't. Let's wait until we take care of this and then ask that question.
Well, part of what I would like from you commissioners is, if you look at my list, I would like any input on modifications to that list, and so that would be number one, adding a project, removing a project, changing the priority of projects, or changing the scope of any of the projects. And so like for this project right here, that would fall underneath, changing the scope of this project from a, class 2 gravel road without much load carrying capacity to a higher load carrying capacity gravel road. But we could change the scope of the project to a paved road. Now we're changing the cost of this project, and thus we would have to change the priorities of everything, because right now I have And let's just stick with this project right now. I've got it for about $43,000 a mile, and most of that is just the materials of culverts and base rock and surface rock, because the counties would be doing most of that ourselves. If we change that to a asphalt surface road, we're going from $43,000 a mile to $700,000 to $900,000 a mile. So the cost really gets kicked up quite a bit. That's something that we can do, but we would have to reprioritize everything. But I am looking for that kind of input, really consensus from the commissioners on any kind of change like that.
Well, with that having been said, then Roger, if you want to pursue your comments there, go right ahead.
I would like to maybe look at this, because I can't see us, that's been a few years since we've upgraded Simpson Road to really handle the go ahead and do it. And I'd hate to see that road get in disrepair again, and we have to go in and get it way back up in shape to put an asphalt surface on it and let it just deteriorate again.
Right.
So that's the reason why I want to bring that to head right now.
Sure. Well, and we don't have it like that as that type of project, and as just a gravel upgrade, is because it was Darren and I's understanding that it was a consensus of the commissioners. So when I started. I started in November of 2018, and then it was in 2019 we were kind of talking about really how well chip sealing a gravel road is, and we kind of we tried to show to you that is really not in the best interest of Saline County to do that. And after a lot of discussion, it was our understanding that it was a consensus to upgrade this road to a good gravel road that the maintenance can continue to maintain. You change that to an asphalt surface road. Now we switch that to we've got to hire contractors to maintain, and the cost is quite a bit more.
Justin, real quick, what motivated a lot of the decisions, with what I'm hearing, is two things: traffic count and safety. Is that pretty much what drives this train?
Traffic count and safety, but another one is Darren's input. The maintenance input. And really you look at the numbers on how much it costs to maintain some of, for instance, to maintain an earth road, because you got mudders out there all the time. Or you can see, like on Thatcher, it just makes sense. We're trying to get some traffic off of Crystal Springs, move traffic over onto another road, and then another section into a paved road.
And the cost of that project versus the maintenance.
Correct. And this project here, it's taking a gravel road to a paved road is a big financial commitment. That doesn't mean that it can't or shouldn't be done, but it is, takes a big commitment to do that. So, to answer your question is Darren's input in the maintenance, especially on these gravel roads, because I don't have that firsthand knowledge of that, because I mainly deal with asphalt roads and bridges. And so I get the maintenance recommendations on a lot of these projects.
And just one more thing, we're, and I apologize that we went from looking at Simpson Road from Waterwell to Manor, and then the next year you have Simpson Road from Manor to K4.
Correct.
Which that road really does need to be upgraded to, and I don't know when and where we ever got from a gravel 1 to a gravel 2, that type of scenario where that's a heavy maintained road, heavy traveled road all the time. But I go back to the situation between Simpson Road, between Magnolia and Waterwell. That 2 mile stretch there that was upgraded in 2018, and where or 17, whenever that was. But anyway, that's where my concern was, is that
just those 2 miles.
That 2 miles of, until that road gets destroyed again, and we have to spend the money to rebuild it again, of spending the money to since we're not going to chip and seal it, to do something with that. But that's just with my thought.
Sure. And I'm glad you're expressing your thoughts, because that's something that if it's really the consensus of the board, we can sure figure out where that upgrade, can fit into our program.
To follow up on Roger's point, so when this is all done on Simpson from Crawford to a K4, would a driver hit a 2-mile portion of that road that would be less drivable than the rest of it?
No, once we're done, let's just say if we continue this program how we have it in 2022, it should be a very consistent, as far as like driver expectancy is really what you're looking at. It should be very similar all the way from K4 to Magnolia.
Yep. Because and just to touch on that, just, Monty, is the one thing about it is that when you said from Crawford to Magnolia is blacktop now. So from Magnolia on south to K4 is all gravel.
Yes.
I got
So, okay, thank you.
Again, this is, again,
Thank
a
you.
very dynamic plan, and I think we need to make sure
And
that it
it's a
stays
great-
that
it's great.
way.
This is a great plan and great scenario. I just wanted to bring it up about that 2-mile stretch that we need to maybe look at. But that's my thought. Okay.
Sure. So that's all I have. Like I said, I just, with the pictures here, I just went through the first 2 years. So now I guess, so I guess I'm here if there's any other comments, questions, concerns.
My concern, and I'm not sure how to read this sheet that you've got here, but the 1 mil balance, and you go down through 2026, there's $270,000 that shows as a balance. Are you telling me that we can pay for all of those projects from the 1 mil account through 2026, that we have that basically budgeted?
Yes, well, I mean, if my estimates are correct.
Okay, and I get that. I mean, I understand that.
Yes.
I'll put a comment on the Simpson Road, particularly if talking about paving it. You've got Holmes Road particularly south from Magnolia. You've got Holmes Road 1 mile to the west. You've got Simpson Road 1 mile to the east. Both of those, Simpson is paved, not south of Magnolia, but Holmes is paved. I have a hard time allocating money to pave every mile of road. I mean, it's just 1 mile over for people who really want to drive on a paved road. And I hope I'm not stepping too hard on toes that live on Simpson Road, but we can't just go out and pave every single road that's there every mile. That's my concern. But in general, I'm certainly in favor of this plan through 2026, particularly being the money is there. I mean, I think every one of us could probably throw a little cold water on one of these projects or not, but nonetheless, in general, I would say that you should proceed with this. That would be my feeling.
My thoughts are that you're doing what we asked you to do.
Exactly.
And to come up with a long-term plan. And does that mean when the individual project comes up 3 years from now, we don't have some other different comments, and that's fine. But we have, I think governments sometimes can just look there, through the next term or through the next year or whatever. And so you are doing what we asked you to do, and so I appreciate that. The other thing that's helpful when you do this is when federal money does come in, whether there is an infrastructure plan coming with the next administration, we have things that are in the works, and those tend to get funded quicker, shovel-ready projects. And so I think it's important that we've done this, so thank you.
Well, another piece of this, and we just started the process, and that is a countywide safety plan. This is again a project through the high-risk rural roads. So we're in a group of, I think there's 19 other counties that there's consultants that's going to go through and do an evaluation of all major collector roads and other asphalt paved roads. So if you've got a minor collector or a local road that's paved, they're going to look at that as well. And so with that program, we're going to get a report with some recommendations, safety recommendations throughout the county. And in order to get high-risk rural road monies to make improvements like I am with Simpson Road, you're going to need to have one of these countywide safety plans completed. And I think that once we get that report back, we might be switching up some of these projects in here, but at least it'll help us really to program some of these projects as well, because there will be some federal money available for construction through that program.
We didn't talk any about the very last one, and that is Holmes Road, Magnolia to Crawford, upgrading that to asphalt. I would probably put up some pretty good resistance if we were voting on that to approve that project today, simply because that abuts the city limits. That's in a development area that's going to happen, and we would be right back on our road lawsuit type thing, because the city would be using it and we would be paying all the maintenance.
Right.
And for us to upgrade that part of it, as of 2020, doesn't make sense to me.
Sure.
In 2026, it may. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
If you look at the upgrade description, which is that first orange column, I did put a, gravel to asphalt cost share. I made a new category, to where it was splitting the cost. And again, it's just another placeholder that's out there that if it happens, it's kind of here. And if it doesn't, then it's easy to remove, and we just move projects up.
Well, again, it's 6 years down the road, but I share Monty's comments that you have done exactly what 2 or 3 months ago that we asked you. You have outlined that exactly like we asked you to do it. And this is a pretty detailed oriented plan, particularly with the first 6 years of it. Being able to balance the budget goes a long way with me.
And
So I guess the consensus that I would like to see from the commission is that we do approve him to go ahead with this first 6 years in terms of his planning and putting the projects together and his time.
Good by me.
Justin, your first two projects on the asphalt widening, 2 foot on either side, and does that include an overlay on the whole thing?
Yeah, and so what my thoughts are on this one is the 2 foot widening would be included in our overlay projects. Okay, and so I would have specific bid items that would be attributed just straight for the widening portion of it. And so what I would do is I would pull out the cost of those bid items for widening would be paid for with the 1 mil. And then the other bid items like the asphalt, and if there's going to be a pretty significant patching on that road, mobilization, there's other stuff that would come out of our contractual asphalt line item.
Okay. And the Centennial Road project with the city, who would be the key player in that as far as design and?
I would say that would be depending on what kind of agreement we come up with, but that would really need to be designed by a consultant, and really taking care of the design, the inspections, all that would have to be probably taken care of by a third party.
Okay, thank you.
Again, back to my comments and a consensus from the commission. Is that a consensus of the board, or?
I like it.
I like it.
It's
Okay, so
really good. Thank
there
you.
you go.
All right, thank you.
This is a great map and the procedure here going great.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. That brings us into the informational items. We're already in the information. Excuse me. Item number 2.
County Administrator's Update with Philip Smith Haynes, County Administrator.
Good morning, Phil.
Good morning, Commissioners. So just a couple of items to make you aware of some letters that we'll be asking for Chairman's signature on. A couple weeks ago, we asked for the Chair's signature on a letter of support for OCCK to KDOT. Today, we're asking for a similar letter for Central Kansas Mental Health Center. Second item, Nancy Klostermeyer's term on the North Central Flint Hills Area Agency on Aging Board is coming to an end. She has agreed to serve again, so asking for reappointment of her if there is no other interest. And then the third item that I wanted to bring to the Commission's attention today is that As you know, we've been working on getting funding out for the coronavirus relief funding. And our advisory committee met last week again and has, they've recommended, and we've put on our website, an application for alternative projects. So if we do happen to have money at the end of the process, we are starting a process to gather additional information from folks. So this may be some of the folks who applied before and were not funded, or it may be new projects that have come up since July, but we are starting to put those together so we have them in the queue just in case there is funding available as we get close to the end of December. So just wanted to make sure the commission was aware of that, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions from anyone?
Mr. Chair, it might be appropriate on those first two letters with your signature to go ahead and consensus to approve.
Do we need a vote, or just a consensus is fine, I assume?
Yep.
Consensus by me.
Yes.
Okay.
With it?
All righty. Very good. Item 3.
Commissioners' comments.
Anyone? We'll go to the announcements, and I just want to say that tomorrow is a very important day for America in the United States and the citizens. It's Veterans Day. I know that there's the American Legion and the VFW put on a big show over at the, I think it's more the VFW than the Legion, but at the Sunset Park, honoring America, honoring the flag, honoring Veterans Day. So keep all the veterans, thank a veteran, think about the ones who have passed, and put everybody in your thoughts. And we'll move on to executive session.
Mr. Chair, I would request an executive session for 20 minutes to start with for the purpose of discussing initial conversations for the acquisition of real property.
Mr. Chairman, I move we recess into executive session under the land acquisition exemption to the Kansas Open Meeting Act for 20 minutes and reconvene in this room at 10:16.
Second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded that we move into executive session under the Kansas Open Meetings Act for 20 minutes under the exception of real property acquisition. All of those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. We're in executive session.
Get in your desk.
Okay, we are back into regular session. No action is taken at this time. We will need a second executive session for non-elected personnel. And
Mr. Chairman, I move we recess into executive session to discuss non-elected personnel for 10 minutes and reconvene in this room at 10:37.
Second the motion.
been moved and seconded that we move into executive session for 10 minutes for non-elected personnel. All of those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. We're in executive session for 10 minutes. Okay, we are back in regular session, and again, I will say that there was no action taken during the executive session, And if anyone has anything for the good of the order, if not, why, I will take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and adjourned. Moved for and seconded for adjournment today. All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Both same sign. We're adjourned. Thank you for watching.